What's up, everybody? I am back. Tonight we're going to be talking about how physical symptoms affect our our body. How physical symptoms show up from spiritual things, right? Or how spiritual things show up as physical symptoms, right? Let me look at this real quick. All right. So I am going to invite a few people in. But if you jump in here with us, let me know that you are here rocking out with us. What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I feel like I haven't been live in a minute. I need to start going live on a regular basis. You guys. But yeah, so tonight we're going to talk about how physical symptoms in the body. Hey, what's up, Candy? What's up? What's up? We're talking about how physical symptoms in the body have a spiritual meaning behind them, okay? Or metaphysical or energetic meaning behind them. Things like tight shoulders, tight hips, pressure in the head, all those kinds of things tend to have some kind of energetic or spiritual meaning behind them. What's up, Jenny? Good evening. Hey, you guys. Thank you so much for being here. If this is your first time joining me, make sure you grab me and then make sure you share this out so that other people can get this information. Tonight, we're going to keep it a buck and we're going to talk about some of the most prominent symptoms or the most common symptoms that people have. For example, people with tight shoulders or a tight back, there is a spiritual indication that they are carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders and they're taking on things that don't belong to them anyway. So we're going to talk about that in addition to some other symptoms that a lot of people have. And we're going to talk about how to get past those symptoms and what to actually do energetically to get past them, affirmations, all that kind of good stuff. So we're going to be jumping into that tonight. So hey, Vishesh, hey, Octavius, what's up? So if you're in here with me, make sure that you do a couple of things. Number one, make sure you tap the screen like this so that I know that you're actually listening. Either tap like this, or y'all know if you're feeling generous tonight, make sure you tap like this as well. We are going to be talking about a bunch of symptoms that people feel in their physical body, and I'm going to be sharing with you what the energetic or spiritual meaning behind those things are, and then what to do to start to change that immediately so that you don't feel those symptoms. So the first thing that we have to be aware of is that the physical body is always giving us feedback. It is always letting us know what our environment feels like. It is always letting us know if our environment or if the food that we're eating is good for us. Our body is always giving us information, okay? And in everything that we do, we are getting some kind of information or some kind of feedback. Now, when we are not able to process that feedback appropriately, what's up, Geraldine? When we are not able to process that feedback appropriately, then the energy starts to get stuck. It starts to get repressed and it starts to be held in specific areas in our bodies. Those areas are usually the gut, the hips, the head, and the shoulders and the back. These are some of the most common areas. Hey, Foxy, these are some of the most common areas. What's up, Paul? These are some of the most common areas that people say they feel stuck, stagnant, or stiff, right? And so we're going to talk through those things tonight. I'm going to be sharing with you guys what those actually mean and then what you should do to make sure that if you are having any of these symptoms, that you actually start doing something effective about them or something about them that can actually assist you or help you. So I'm going to share this out really quickly so other people can get in the room. And if you're in here with me and you haven't already yet, please share this out so that other people can jump in here. What's up? I'm doing a quick share out. And we're going to jump right into it. All right. So let's go ahead and let's jump right into it. What's up, Red? Thank you for popping in here. All right. So real quickly, I told you guys that the body is always keeping score. The body is always giving us feedback. The body's always like teaching us things. It's time for us to start listening. Let me time to acknowledge that there are things, hey Sally, that there are things that are happening in our bodies, and it's time to start acknowledging those things instead of just, oh, I think I'm a little bit stressed, or oh, I think I might be working too hard. It's bigger than that. It's usually deeper than that. So we're going to talk about those things tonight. All right. Hey, Momo, what's up? All right. So let's get into it. So every physical symptom is an energetic interruption. Every single one. I teach a health coach training class on Saturdays and on Tuesdays. I might go live tomorrow when I teach it, but I teach that class twice a week, and it never fails. At least one person in one of those classes has some kind of chronic disorder, and a lot of times they're in the class because they want help for themselves before they start helping their clients. And the reality, hey universe, and the reality of it is they are at liberty to be able to do that, but they also have to be open to what the issue could be. The one thing that someone in class almost always says, either they have it or somebody that they know have it, is they always mention things like fibromyalgia, or they always mention things like cancer. And I just kind of sit with them. Hey, hot sauce. I just kind of sit and I listen to them, and they say, yep, I've had it all my life. I've been like this all my life, ... fill in the blanks. And all I'm hearing is all of the energetic resistance. That's usually what I'm hearing when a person says, hey, Isan, when a person says, oh, I've been in this pain, or, oh, everyone in my family has this, or everyone in my family does this or that. And I'm thinking to myself, wow, you come from a generation of people who are all holding on to energy or doing something in some way, and they haven't paid attention to what else they could possibly be doing to help release things from their body. What's up, Robert? And so I'm always cognizant of what I say and how I say it to people, because because we know when we get in our feelings, people feel a way about certain things. But the reality of it is our physical body moves in increments, but our energetic body is always expanding, contracting, holding, and processing the things that we put our physical body through. And then we get signs, physical signs, of how our body is accepting or how our body is moving through or dealing with the energy or the things that we're giving to our body. What's up, Cornelia? What's up, Tessie? Hey, universe. Thank you guys for joining me. And so we're going to talk through some of those symptoms tonight. We're going to talk through why people feel a certain way and what to actually do about those things, okay? And then at the end, I'm going to give you some affirmations for each symptom. Actually, not at the end, but I'm going to give you an affirmation for each symptom. What's up, Kashi? For each symptom, so that you understand what to actually do if you have tight shoulders, if you have diarrhea, or if you have constipation, which is a big energetic one for most people. Hey, bold. And they don't really realize that it's an energetic or it's a spiritual block. They think that, oh, it's just something I ate, or they think through it like that, when in reality, the body's trying to send them a completely different message. What's up, Tony? So we're going to talk through it, okay? And so we already know that every physical symptom has a energetic or spiritual connection back of it. What's up, Tiffany? So we already know this. And when we're looking at this, the thing that we've got to understand is when we have a physical symptom, and I'm talking about symptoms that happen and they keep happening. Hey, make sure you guys share this out so that other people can jump in here. What's up, Raymond? And so we're talking about symptoms that happen and they, hey, DC, that happen and that keep happening, right? That's what we're talking about, right? Kidney stones. Yep. Kidney stones are they are another one. They are another one. Kidney stones are another one. What's up, Tasha? Hey, Kashi. And so kidney stones are another one. Fibromyalgia is another one that people always say. Or people, yep, high blood pressure is another one. And when we're talking about high blood pressure and things like that, we're talking about matters of the heart. A lot of times it's not just matters of the physical heart, but it also has to do with opening up. It also has to do with worthiness. There's a lot of things back of that. So when I see and hear people say, all the women in my family had high blood pressure, what does that say about everybody? Everybody shouldn't have it. Every soul has a unique journey. What's up, 99 Kill? Hey, Tracy, every soul has a unique journey. So how is it that everyone in your family has this? That should be something that we think something that should immediately raise a red flag, right? Right? It's mostly diet, but there's also energetic things back of it as well. Okay? Because people still energetically, we choose certain foods and certain things. Hey, Inspired, what's up? We choose foods and different things. For example, people choose sweet things when they feel down or when they don't feel loved. They like the way chocolate lights up the brain. It's one of the reasons why they always sell it around Valentine's Day, right? People want crunchy nuts, popcorn, pretzels when they feel like they're losing control. They want salt. They want something that they can bear down on to make them feel like they're in control. So even back of food is something spiritual. It's something deeper, right? That a lot of people, hey, higher vibration, that a lot of people miss. And they just say, well, everybody in my family eats like that, or everybody in my family likes that, or we always cook that. How does everyone want that? When you are different from your mom, or different from your aunt, or different from your dad, you guys share the same DNA, but the same purpose, the same mindset, the same energy blueprint. Everyone's is different. So when a whole family has the same kind of thing, it should automatically raise a red flag. Like underneath it all, there's something else we're passing on. Something else we're passing on that no one in the family is willing to see, or dare I say, they have seen and they're not willing to speak on, right? Right? Keep it 100, and we're gonna talk through some of the most common symptoms. But before we do, you guys, if you could please do two things for me. Number one, if you could tap the screen to let me know you guys are actually in the room. You could tap like this, you could tap like this, or if you really feeling generous, you could tap like this. And if you haven't already yet, make sure that you share this live out. You can press and hold my nose and share it out to the people that you see on that list so that other people can get this information. Somewhere, someone on your timeline, someone who's your friend because they feel like you're a great bestie, right? They feel like you're a great bestie, needs this information. So make sure that you share it out so they can actually get this information as well. All right. Thank you for sharing this out. I appreciate it, Kashi. So let's go through it, you guys. So now we know all physical symptoms are tied to, well, let me be appropriate when I speak. Research shows that 98% of physical symptoms stem from energy imbalance. 98%. Hey, Tina Black. Hey, Gator Girl. 98% of physical symptoms stem from something deeper. 98%. The other 2% have to do with they're genetically born with it. They are, an accident happened and they happen to have these symptoms. What's up, Steve? What's up, Tiffany? So, but 98% of all the other illnesses and all the other chronic things and all the other things, that's right, Kashi, low vibrational field, start in the energy field first. That is absolutely correct. So we're going to talk through the most common things. Obviously, we ain't going to get to everything tonight. Okay, we ain't going to get to everything. But we're going to talk through the most common things and what to actually do, right? What to actually do to get ready to move those things on. What's up, Demarian? So let's talk through it. The first one and the most common one is things that happen with the gut. So we're talking about constipation. We're talking about diarrhea. We're talking about cramping in the gut, excessive gas. Hey, Shauna, we're talking about those things. I'm going to tell you guys what it means to constant. And I'm not talking about like you just eat some beans. Right, we're not talking about that. Hey, Marla, we're not talking about you just eating some little refried beans and all of a sudden you're bubbling. That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about someone who does not go regularly, no matter what they try. They can try things like ripe pears, prunes, oatmeal, fiber, dates, right? And they still can't stay regular. I'm going to tell you what's going on with the gut at a deeper level, at an energetic level, okay? The first thing to remember is that because things start in the energy field, a lot of times by the time the body gets a physical symptom, it's a late sign, especially if it's been going on for a long time. It's already super late. The other thing I'll say, and to keep this in mind, you guys, when we have a glandular system, right? So we have all our glands. We got our thyroid gland. We got our pituitary gland in our head. We have thymus gland right here at the top, at the point of the heart. It's in the chest behind the sternum. We have adrenal glands on top of our kidneys, so in our back. And then we have reproductive glands, right? Down like in our hips, in our waist. When your glandular system is off, the further up the disorder, the longer the issue has been going on. So people with thyroid issues have been having chronic glandular system out of whack for a long time. So it works, the disorder for the glands work their way up the body. So say, for example, you might have a woman or a man with prostate issues, that's a gland, or a woman with issues with her ovaries, right? That's towards the bottom of the body. When they start getting issues with their thymus gland, when they start getting issues with their thyroid, that means it's worked its way up. Hey, lottie dottie. That means it's worked its way up. And that means at a deeper level, there is a good amount of dysfunction and a lot of healing has to happen to start to turn that around, okay? Because once the physical body starts getting signs, it's already late. It's already late, all right? So you guys, make sure that you're tapping the screen. Make sure that you share this out because all kinds of people have physical symptoms and they like, where's that even coming from? They think that it's one thing, but it may very well be another. And I'm going to be sharing those alternatives with you guys tonight. And make sure we're tapping. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it. All right, and if you haven't had your daily, y'all, I always forget this. Get your daily if you haven't already yet. Drop a heart me, all that great stuff. Yes, detox will help. We're going to talk about that. Kashi, look at you. Kashi, you want to come up here and teach with me? Kashi, you want to come up here and teach with me? Huh? Yes, you're absolutely right. Yes, detox. So we're going to talk through all of these tonight. All right. So the first one and the most common one. What's up, KB? DKB, what's your name? JKB. What's up? What's up, Moses? I hope you're doing amazing. Thank you so much for your daily. I appreciate that. All right. The first one, the most common symptom, you guys, is constipation or it is diarrhea. But most of the time people get constipated. We're going to talk about what that means spiritually. All right. We're going to talk about what that means spiritually. We'll look at muscle cramps too, Blueberry. Don't worry. We'll look at that as well. All right. So there's a resistance of letting go. Your gut or your stomach or where your navel is, that's your sense of knowing, right? We call that your seat of power. Right? We call that chakra there, it's bright yellow, and it is the solar plexus chakra. That is literally our seat of power. This is where we get our gut feeling from. When something is off, we can feel it in our gut. If something's not right, we can feel it. We can sense it. So the gut has a they call the gut your second brain, right? The gut is our second brain. The most common thing to do is, and hear me good, attack the food and mess up their gut. But we live in a country where they're doing all kinds of stuff to the food, enriching it, adding stuff to it. Hint, hint. Hey, if you live in a country where they got to put pesticides on everything, think about what that's going to do to your gut, right? And I'm not saying we can avoid all of it, but we got to have a plan to clean things out. What's up, King Philip? What's up, you guys? Thanks for jumping in here. And I'm not saying that we can't eat and we can't do those things, but we got to have a plan going forward, okay? So if the gut is blocked, right? Grace of God, what's up? We're looking at resistance to letting go. We're looking at emotional and mental and spiritual things that we need to release, things that do not serve us anyway. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Eloise. What's up, you guys? Make sure we are tapping the screen, you guys. I really appreciate that. And then if you haven't already yet, make sure you press and hold my nose and share this out because there's always other people who need this information. So make sure we're giving it to them. Aaliyah, thank you for the follow. What's up, Aaliyah? I appreciate it. Thank you so much. So how do you spot it? So how do you know that your constipation isn't just that you're not eating your oatmeal? How how do we know that it's not just like we're not eating what we're supposed to eat? So we're going to spot the signs. What's up, Miriam? Welcome in. Hey, Kindness. I see you sharing it out. I appreciate the love. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. So how do we spot it? Okay. So often it's accompanied by us clenching, control tendencies, and make sure you guys watch when other people do this. Make sure you watch when other people, so make sure you listen to this. So it's accompanied by clenching. People that clench their jaw. Thank you so much for the gift, Kindness. People that clench their jaw, people that clench their fist, right? You ever seen somebody that always has to do this, or that they're always like this, or they always are like this? They're clenching. They got to clench like their arm. Have you ever seen someone that's always like this? Let me know in the comments, right? They're constantly clenching either their jaw, they're clenching something, right? They have to hold on to something tight, okay? They're always clenching down on something. This is one of the symptoms that they need to be in control. The other way to spot it are people who love salt and people who chew ice. People who love peanuts. People who love, and I'm not talking about like raw almonds. They got to have like the saltiest things, right? They got to have they got to have control. They got to have pretzels. They like to crunch down on very hard things, right? Hard candy that you're supposed to kind of suck to get it to go down in size. They're the type of person that will bite through a Jolly Rancher. Them people. Right? Hey, Fire Red, them people, right? That will bite through. That's like, listen. Those people that have a Tootsie Pop and they say 1, 2, and 3. That's them. That's them. The people from the Tootsie Pop commercial that have to bite down 9 times out of 10. 9 times out of 10. 9 times, she said, but what that mean? So Sally, we're talking about blockages in the gut and how those signs show up and what that means spiritually. Okay. Hey, Sophia. So we're gonna get to ringing in the ears as well, right? I think I covered ringing in the ears on another live, but we can go back over that towards the end. Okay. So clenching, when there's a problem with constipation and when there's a problem in the gut, people are holding on to things that they cannot use. A lot of times they are also clenching other things, or they also need control in another way, right? Because they feel like they don't have the control to let go of things that don't serve them, okay? So this is how this manifests. And this is how the body is always giving us information to make sure that we understand, hey, something's up. We got to fix this, okay? And so they usually the way you alleviate this, and I like this because the gut can be a big deal, but the gut is also the easiest one to fix. The gut is also, right? So Tony, clenching the jaw is also related to blocked gut or the blocked ability to be able to feel like you're in all of your power and you can let go of things that don't serve you. Typically, that's what that means, okay? So if someone's clenching their jaw, thank you. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love, Pepe. I appreciate you. What's up, Pepe? Coming through. Thank you so much, Pepe. I see you. Thank you for the love. I appreciate you. I appreciate that. So when the person is clenching their teeth, right? When they're always clenching their fists, or they're always closed off like this, or they gotta have ice to chew, or they gotta have pretzels, or they bite through a Jolly Rancher, those are the people that a lot of times also might have a blocked gut. Pepe, I appreciate you up in here. Show you guys. So how do you fix it? Let's talk about that, Ready. Let's do it. So let's talk about how we fix it. So I love that the gut is the most powerful thing. It's like our second brain, but it's also easy to fix. So what do you do for the gut? The number one thing you can do for the gut is twisting movements. You're going to be doing things, and you could do this stuff in your bed. So if someone will type in the comments, I want you guys, I'm always giving you guys the tea. So you're going to look up something called the Tibetan rites. Tibetan, Tibetan rites. If you want to get your body twisting the right way. Thank you, Dragonia, for the follow. I appreciate it. Get going in the right directions. Get the 5 Tibetan rites. Somebody put that. Hey, Coach Caddy. Somebody put that in the comments. The 5 Tibetan rites. Y'all, go on YouTube, find a video, save it to your watch later. Okay? YouTube video, save it to your watch later. Okay? The Tibetan rites. The 5 Tibetan rites. Let me go ahead and pin that. I appreciate you. Appreciate that, Miriam. The 5 Tibetan rites. That's going to be one of the top things you're going to do to help move your gut. If you don't want to do the Tibetan rites, or you can't get through all 5 of them, because make no mistake, they are not easy to get through, right? Thank you, Kindness, for the love. I appreciate you. They are not super easy to get through, okay? So if you can't do that, you're going to be looking at cat-cow movements. You know how you're on all 4s and you're arching your back, and then you're arching your back the opposite way, and you're arching it back and you're arching it the opposite way. The gut is the easiest thing to fix. It needs you to twist. It needs twisting motions. For those of you who are a little bit more, you don't even have to be small. I was going to say of small stature, but you don't have to be small to do vacuums. How many of you in the comments know what vacuums are? Put the little hand up, or actually drop a heart in the comments if you don't know what vacuums are. If you don't know what a vacuum is for the stomach, put a heart in the comments, and then I'll tell you guys what it is. The other thing you're going to do is gentle stretching, right? Gentle stretching, twisting motions, those things fix the gut every single time. All right, so we're going to talk about what vacuums are. And then you're going to do some journaling, right? You're going to do some journaling, and you're going to ask this question: what am I afraid to let go of? Why do I feel like I'm out in control? What am I afraid of? Hey, Janelle, thank you for the follow. What am I afraid to let go of? What's up, Charlene? What am I afraid to let go of, right? And so for those of you who don't know what vacuums are, as someone who was a former bodybuilder and former CrossFit competitor, we did vacuums. So people would always be like, oh my God, do you do crunches to snatch your waist? I'm like, girl, we bodybuilders. Ain't nobody getting on no floor to do no crunches, right? Thank you so much, Ethiopian. Ain't nobody getting on no floor to do no crunches, sis. Who's doing that? They don't even work. They don't even work to help your core. I mean, if you think it works, keep doing it. But I can tell you it doesn't. As someone who's competed and won over and over and over again, that does not work. That's not what we do. We do vacuums. Vacuums are where you essentially try to pull your navel into your spine. You pull your navel into your spine. You do not need to hold your breath to do a vacuum. You can pull your navel. Do it now while you're sitting. Try to pull your navel into your spine. I'm doing it now, and I'm actually talking. So you're not holding your breath, but you are contracting your stomach muscles all the way in, right? And then you're going to try to hold it for up to 30 seconds, right? For some people, they can only hold it 5 seconds. If your core is weak, you can only hold it 5 to 10 seconds. If you got a pretty good core, you can hold your navel to your spine for he said it hurts. Now, Blueberry, I'm going to speak about that. I'm going to speak about that real quick here if you want me to. Says, wow, it's called something else in yoga. Yes, it is called something else in yoga. It is also called something else with breath work, right? That's a whole different science. I have 2 yoga certifications, right? There's a whole nother science behind that. So is it similar to a pelvic? Absolutely. I like that. It's like a Kegel, but for your abdomen. What this is going to do, what you're trying to do with the vacuum, it was twofold when we used it in bodybuilding, right? Number one, we used it to get a smaller waist, period, right? We used it to snatch our waist. The second thing we used it for was to empty our bowels. Because as a bodybuilder, I ate 8 meals a day. I drank 3 gallons of water a day. It's a whole different lifestyle. Okay, you have to really push yourself. Your bowels have to be on point to have constant elimination, always letting out things and keeping the things in that you need. Thank you for the follow, Spoken Like a Goddess. We appreciate you here. I need smaller waist. So you can do it. So if you don't want to do a waist trainer, this is your natural waist training, right? If you really want to get into vacuums, you're going to bend over and grab your knees, keeping your spine straight, and you're going to pull your navel into your spine. But you are not going to hold your breath. You should still be breathing. You should still be breathing with your abs contracted in. I'm doing it right now. You should still be breathing with your abs contracted all the way in. You really want to get some results? Do it in the sauna. You're welcome. You're welcome. You want to really whittle your waist? Vacuums. And vacuums also help to massage. Yep. To massage. It's gonna massage your gut. It's gonna squeeze your small and large intestine. It's going to do all of those things. Now, for those of you, once you get really, really savvy at vacuums, you only need to do 5 to 10 of these for like 10 seconds each. Let it go, do it again, right? Over time, you should be able to grab and hold or hug your ribs. You should be able to get around your rib cage, and you should be able to press and massage your belly. This is going to help you tremendously if you have blocked energy in your bowels, if you are someone who clenches your teeth, if you are someone who has to bear down on ice, right? Ryan should say, I had a botched tummy tuck. The belly is still round. I'm so sorry to hear that, Free. So you want to be very, very careful, okay? You definitely want to be very careful with that. But you should still get to where you can press your bowels. Now, someone said that they have pain. If you have pain, okay, and this is coming from someone who has multiple medical licenses. I have over 22 years in critical care medicine, including anesthesiology, clinical research, and respiratory therapy. If you have pain when you touch your belly, there is probably a blockage there. It can be a bowel blockage from something you're eating. It could be anything, okay? So you want to be careful. If you can touch or palpate, like we say palpate, if you can touch that space and start to like move it around, if it is a really sharp pain, don't be fooling around, go get seen about. Okay? Don't be fooling around if you got sharp pains and stuff like that. We don't play that on this live. Go get seen about. So we can learn the spiritual or energetic implications to things, but there is a reason we also have hospitals and healthcare. Okay, we're going to talk about hips and lower back in just a minute. She says, I believe the yoga practice is called bandhas, if anyone is wondering. I love that. So spoken, let me try to pin that so people can have it. We love people that have other information. Love it, love it, love it. Thank you. All right, so, right, so she says it's been 5 years. Okay, so, but if you are touching and palpating your bowels, and let me tell you, this is your body. You should be touching, right? Good. No sharp pains. I saw that. Good. So if you have little pains, it just means you got to start moving some stuff along, and you got to get some fiber and some cruciferous vegetables, spinach, collards, turnip greens, broccoli. Get that stuff in your diet to help move things along. And then if you really want to be savvy about it, you're going to get Karo syrup. You're going to get things like dates. You're going to get a really ripe pear. Those things keep you moving quickly, right? Let me pin that. Spoken. Thank you so much. I'm trying to pin it. I appreciate that because I can't think of those, right? Okay. So now we all clear on what to do with the bowels. If you're constipated, right? Does everyone know what to do? Type yes in the comments. Type yes in the comments if we can move on from the block bowels, right? Type yes in the comments if we can move on. Y'all got that? Y'all got that? Let's get it. All right. The second one is going to be tight shoulders and a tight upper back, right? Tight shoulders and a tight upper back. So real quick, why y'all stop liking the live? Why y'all stop liking the live? Can we tap? Is there any way y'all can tap? Can y'all ranks? I see like one person. Can we? She said that's me. Okay. Can we tap though? Can we If y'all can tap while I'm yapping, since I was digging into my notes. Okay. And yes, I forgot to say this. Thank you for the reminder, Charlene. I appreciate you. Water. For most of these things, water, and we're gonna talk about that. Mrs. Mission Healthy, I appreciate you. So I got you, sis. I appreciate it, y'all. All right, so now let's move on to the shoulders. Let me tell you, I have tight shoulders, and I used to think it was from bodybuilding. I'm a shoulder girl. I appreciate that, y'all. Thanks so much. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And so I'm a shoulder, bicep. Like, I love working upper body. I'm big back in a different way. Back in a different way, right? But if you have really tight shoulders, I'm gonna talk you through that from a structural standpoint, like a medical structural standpoint, but we're gonna talk about it from an energetic standpoint. We're talking about tight shoulders and we're talking about tight upper back. That means if somebody were to walk up to you and put their hands like on your back, they can feel how tight your back is. How tight your back is. Or have you ever walked up to someone and touched them on their back and it feels tight? It feels like you're hitting a brick wall, right? You're hitting a brick wall. Their back is so tight and they ain't working out. They ain't lifting nothing but a fork, child. This I can tell you from experience that tight shoulders and a tight upper and mid back means that people feel like they are carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. They feel like they are carrying the weight of the world on their shoulders. Things affect these people easily. Okay? They feel like they have to carry their families. They feel like this is that person that says, all my friends come to me for advice. No, they're dumping on you. There's a difference. There's a difference, right? I naturally give good advice. You naturally let people dump on you. You want a hero cookie for that? No, they are dumping this on you on a regular basis, right? Like, they're dumping this. That's a no. That's a no. So we're going to talk about this now. So tight shoulders, right? Carrying burdens that do not belong to us. Carrying burdens that do not belong to you. That's your tight shoulders and tight back. Upper back, mid back. You understand? Lower back is going to be with the hips, and we're going to get to those. We're going to get to that. But tight shoulders and tight upper back, they carry the weight of the world, right? Think about like your big mama. Think about like my mama's shoulders. My mom had 11 kids. I'm one of 11. I'm child number 8. My mom was an incredible matriarch. She had 8 girls and 3 boys. Her shoulders were always tight. And after I got grown enough, I was like, after I had one, I was like, ain't no way I'm gonna do that again. I told my mom, was like, are you gonna have some more? I said, I did my part. I did my part. I got 10 other siblings. Half of them ain't got no kids. Don't put all this on me, right? Don't put all this on me. I had 1. And I was like, there's no way I could have ever done 11. So I had a new found and incredible respect for my mother, who was my best friend, right? And so, but her shoulders were always tight. Her back was always tight, right? Imagine the stress, right? Of raising children like that. And so tight shoulders, how do we know that that's what it is? The first thing is you're going to notice the tension immediately after a conversation. After a conversation, after you leave an event, because some people we talked about this on another live, some people take on the energy of other folks when they're in close proximity to those people. So it may not be about, oh, it's my family that I'm taking on this from. No, you could have gone to a conference and came back and you like, my shoulders and stuff are so tight. Man, that was a busy conference. So pay attention to how you feel, especially after you've been around groups of people and you're shaking hands and you're networking. I mean, we have to do these things, but we want to make sure that we're doing it in such a way where we also have energetic hygiene. so that we're not taking on everybody's stuff. So you'll have people that say, I feel tense, I feel tight after I left that 3-day conference or whatever, right? So it's not just feeling like you're burdened by other things. There are people who feel burdened by the responsibilities they have on their job. They feel like it's their job to do their work and everybody else work. Some of it is self-inflicted, right? But that's neither here nor there, right? The fact remains that whatever we're taking on, we've got to start lightening the load. We got to lighten the load a little bit so that we can keep things flowing in our bodies, right? And so, like I said, it often comes after a conversation. Yeah, we got to have energetic hygiene. After a conversation, we notice the tension, or after specific things that you like, man, after that, I feel so drained. This is a sign. Thank you so much for the Go Popular, Miriam. This is a sign. And if you feel drained, hey, spiritually, if you feel drained, this is a sign, right? Shoulders are tight. Your shoulders are like, your shoulders are up like this instead of down and back. You can't even see the person's neck, right? This is a sign that they're holding on to things, right? This is a sign. This is a sign. And so what do, right? You want to do shoulder rolls. And for those of you who have really, really tight shoulders, you're going to want to get to where you're holding a weight, some kind of weight that can pull the shoulders down. Okay, you're also going to want to try something like a yoga wheel that also opens the top half of the back. Something you can kind of roll your back on and it will open your back up, right? Assuming this is your face. You're going to lay backwards on it and roll and open your back, right? To start to release some of those things, okay? Or start to let go of some of that as well, okay? And then you're going to start saying the word no out loud, okay? You're going to start saying the word no out loud, and you're going to treat no like a complete sentence going forward. You're going to treat the word no like a complete sentence moving forward. That's what we're going to do. I said this on another live, and I'm gonna say it again. There's a few things that you'll hear me always say. Like one thing I said, my mama used to always say, the past has nothing new to say, and my grandma used to always say, givers must have boundaries because takers don't have any. Boundaries, they're not coming to take it easy on you, right? So, and I have added to that, your default should be no. She said once more again, I said, my mom used to say, the past has nothing new to say. You know how people be flattered, oh, he came back around. He only came to finish you off. He's back because he loved you. He's back because he lost. That's what that is. He ain't back because you so fine. Let's be clear. Let's be real clear. They ain't showing back up because you're sexy. They there to finish you off. They there because they lost. They there because they lost. Make no mistake. The past has nothing new to say. Best advice I ever got. Past has nothing new to say. Okay? And then my grandma used to say, givers must have boundaries because takers aren't coming to you with any. You must have boundaries as a big giver and not feel like you're responsible for everybody and everything. Givers must have boundaries because takers don't have any. And then I add to that, besides no being a complete sentence, no is my default answer. So when you ask me to do something, the answer is no. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you want. The freaking answer is no. It's not an I'll think about it. The answer is no. And then if I change my mind, I decided I'll come back and say, hey, I think that might have been a good thing. Let me go ahead and see what this is about. Here's why I say no is your default. When your worth is high, hear me good. And I don't just mean your worth. Some of you guys are carrying so much divine wisdom and gifts and spiritual gifts within you. even if you don't see it. Your worth is high, even if you don't see it. And the wrong yes will break you down. The wrong yes, one wrong yes can destroy you. One wrong yes can destroy you. So no is plenteous coming from me, because it's not when when I say yes to something, when I say yes and amen and ashe, I mean that thing. That means, let me tell you what that means, and then you can decide what your yes means for you all you want to. When I say yes, because the only thing I can speak for is my own personal truth, is when I say yes, that means my life force. I'm putting my breath towards it. I'm putting my life towards it. I'm waking up and doing the thing that I said yes to. So no is my default. I give my life force to everyone. That's not up to give to everyone. It will age you so incredibly fast to just give a yes to everybody. My answer's no. And I used to, when my self-worth was a little bit lower, I used to try to validate my no. No is a complete sentence. No is a complete sentence. And I feel no way about that. And I don't care how people feel about it, because they can do whatever they want to do with their life force. This one's mine. This one's mine. I'm 45 years old. I want to live to see another 45. No is my default. And when I say yes, I mean it from the heart. I mean it from the heart. I mean it from the heart. Okay? That's what I mean. So you decide what yes and amen means to you. You decide what you let your soul and your physical body agree to when you say yes. Otherwise, it should be a no. And if, let me tell you, hey, so serene, what? Let me tell you, your yes, keep in mind, let me just say this real quick. Let me give you the game, like we say back in the day. Everybody's yes ain't the same as your yes. Everyone's yes is not the same as your yes. Y'all know people be out here saying yes to you and they be half delivering. They be over promising and halfway delivering. Half stepping every chance they get. There is a lack of honor and respect for the universal and divine law of reciprocity. No intentions of reciprocating your yes. My default is no. This is what it is. Don't ask me a second time, because it's probably gonna be no then too. If I feel led to say yes, it's a yes that I mean. So you decide how you feel. When I started doing that, you guys, and this is someone that, and even still, I sit on several advisory boards. I have a mentorship. I own a nonprofit. I've owned over 10 businesses. I've made millions of dollars. I educate people. I own an accredited school. I might be new to TikTok, but you can Google me. Done a lot in my lifetime. So I have said yes over and over and over again, almost to my detriment. But I had to eventually say yes to myself. And when I say yes to myself, some of you, when you say yes and amen and ashe to yourself, some people gonna have to hear no. Some people are gonna have to get a no. Thank you for the follow, Jay. Some people are going to have to hear no. And they're going to be okay with that. They're going to be okay with that. I feel no way about it. I'd be like, no. And I don't give any other answers, right? So now everybody understands, too, why your shoulders are tight, why your back is tight, right? Now, if you're working out and you're not stretching, that's a different thing. But for most people, they carry the weight of the world on their shoulders because they use no sparingly. Their default is yes. They're concerned about what people are going to think about them when they say no. Honey, please. The answer's no. I ain't got it. Don't even look this way. Make somebody else your one phone call. Make somebody else your right? Got to do better with the no's. We all do. I had to arrive there too. We all do, right? But when I raised my vibration and when I raised my self-worth, no became very easy for me. No became very easy for me because I'm like, no, there are gifts and things that I haven't discovered yet. And the wrong yes will decimate those gifts. The wrong yes can set me on a course that I would probably never be able to have the bandwidth to be able to teach like this. Do you understand? Let me know that you guys understand. Right? And you know what, spoken like a goddess? Somebody recently said to me, oh, can I get to know? I'm like, no, I don't really do that. No, you can join me on my live. That's the way that goes. No, my answer is no, I don't really do that. And I said, no, I don't really do that. There's a million, you can Google me. There's a million ways to get to know me. No, no, no. Right? And I'm going to tell you guys something. This is the last thing I'm going to share. Yet that's right, Serene, protect your peace. I'm going to tell you guys, this is one of the reasons why I do it, is to protect my peace, right? When we show God, let me tell you something. When we agree with God on what we are worth, which is far beyond rubies and gold and diamonds and all this stuff, your worth is so exponentially high as a human being having this experience. Right? When we agree with God quickly in that way, we start to share with the universe the things that we feel like we deserve. The universe understands where we're coming from when we say, I want better. I want to live better. I want to do better. I want to eat better. I want to be better. And we have to do that when we say no and when we say yes. This is what we're doing. We're constantly communicating with God and saying, I appreciate it for the knowledge to give me and the vision, for giving me the vision to be able to see this. Gotta tell them no, because I'm on a certain kind of path. It's a no, right? So now we understand the back and the top of the neck, the shoulders. Now let's talk about the neck. Back of the neck, front of the neck. If you've got tension here, tension at the back of the neck, that or you get headaches, this is resistance to seeing or understanding another perspective that might open you up. If you have tension in your neck, the back of the neck, specifically also, you guys, back of the ears here, right? Back here where you can feel these bones all the way down. If you've got tension in the front of your neck, tension in the back of your neck, bottom of the head, pressure in the head, right? These are, the neck and the back of the head. Remember I taught you guys, if you put your hand back there and you feel where your skull ends, that little divot, everybody's got a little dip back there. If you can touch back there, back there, that little dip is where the mouth of God chakra lives. That's where you get downloads and information from a higher source, okay? This is where, when you pray and wait, this is where you're looking to hear from, right? I don't know if everybody knows that, but that's important to know that. That information is going to be fed through, hey Karma, fed through the mouth of God chakra in the back. It's represented by the color teal, like a bright, beautiful teal color. So if you are wanting to open yours up, you can wear a piece of agate around your neck that's teal. You can wear a little bracelet that has teal beads on it. That's the mouth of God chakra. When you have, okay, and now that I preface, okay, because that's the beginning of what I'm about to say. When you have tension in the neck and back of the head, pressure in the back of the head, around this mouth of God chakra, it is typically a resistance to a different perspective that needs to be adopted. That means a person might be stuck in a doctrinated thing. They might be stuck in a different way of thinking, and there's something that's trying to come through, and this area gets congested. You understand me? This all back of the neck, you got a headache and it's just in the back of the head, right? This is what's happening. Okay, this is usually what's happening. There's a resistance to seeing a perspective, or there's a resistance to expressing your truth. Okay, there's a resistance because remember, your throat chakra lives there too. Throat chakra is like here. Mouth of God is in the back. Throat chakra is like a dark blue. It's like a royal blue almost, right? And then the back here is usually represented by the color teal. All right. When you get any kind of tightness in the neck, tightness in the back of the head, right? Then it's a resistance to a different kind of perspective that you need to adopt in order for your life to shift. Or it's a resistance to speaking your truth, right? It's a resistance to speaking your truth. That's where the throat chakra is. Throat chakra is normally associated with sky or baby blue. Third eye is dark royal. You can get lapis lazuli for your throat, okay? All right. All right. So when we're looking at this, so how do you know? Well, when you say you get headaches, even when it's quiet. So this is a person that might have headaches and neck aches even when there's no noise. There's nothing in your environment that would cause it, right? That's what this is, okay? In addition to that, you feel unheard. You feel like there are people who always cut you off when you're talking. Or you feel like you feel the need to constantly interrupt other people, right? It's like they don't listen to actually understand. How many of you have ever been around someone like that? Like they interrupt everything someone says. Or when it's their time to speak, they don't speak up. Or they're like, well, I don't know. I'm like, oh my, for crying out loud, get you some, oh my God. I was watching a live where someone was doing international speed dating, and he was asking the girl, well, what do you want? What do you look for in a man? And well, I was like, oh my God, I gotta get off. Like, I was like, oh my God, she's annoying. This big age, use your words already. Use your words, sis. Use your words, right? And so, but yeah, so that's a throat chakra thing, right? A lot of times they feel like they're not comfortable speaking their truth. They're not comfortable speaking up for themselves. And over time, they get tension in the neck. Over time, they get tension in the back of the head. But this is a sign, right? So they can do neck stretches, right? I always tell people to just use the weight of your head. Usually our head has a little bit of weight to it, right? So you can just use the weight of your head and slow roll. Slow roll. Where you feel the most tension. So say if I was rolling my head and I got to this side and I felt tension in the back of my shoulder, right? Because the other thing we need to remember is our nerves fan down, right? So our nerves, you guys, the nerves that control our hands and our shoulders are up in the top of the neck. They're not back here towards the shoulders. They're not towards the middle of the spine. They're not top, middle of the spine. They're actually at the very top. So when you have shoulder pain, that's a C-spine thing. That's up here, anatomy-wise, right? So your nerves feed down, almost like an upside down tree, I guess, right? They feed down, okay? Like these little hairs, okay? And the ones in the back of your neck control your hands. They control your arms. The ones at the top up here, they control your shoulders. So if you got pain in your shoulder blades, that's a neck thing, right? That's a getting the right kind of pillow or something. That's a neck issue, okay? That means there's a nerve things in the neck are happening, okay? And so when you're looking at this, when you're turning your head, wherever you feel the resistance, stay there. And then I want you to breathe. Breathe in, hold for 4, you know, the 8-4-8. Breathe in, hold, and then release. And you're going to give yourself an opportunity. What's up, Hurley? Welcome in. You're going to give yourself the opportunity to start to feel wherever this area is, to start to feel and let it actually release, okay? That's what you're going to be doing, okay? All right, you guys, please make sure that we're tapping the live. If we could get to 40,000 up here. If you are not connected with me, what are you doing? Let's be besties. Go ahead and click me and follow me. I would really appreciate it. Or scoop me. I would really appreciate it. And then if you haven't already yet, press and hold my nose. Share this out because somebody you know somewhere, and even you guys out there watching on the FYP, you might as well come on in this room while we talk about the body, yada, yada. All right? You may as well come on in this room because that is what we're talking about tonight and how to release these things. All right? What's up, Nikisha? I hope you're doing amazing. All right. So you're going to stretch. And of course, the blue chakra, the blue things, blue stones, all those things, whatever calls to you, get it. Okay. And then of course, start speaking your truth in small ways. Okay. If this is you and it's a truth thing, or it's a throat thing, meaning people constantly cut you off or you constantly cut other people off. It can go either way. And it's fine, but we gotta know how to fix it and balance it out, okay? And so you're gonna want to practice speaking your truth. Sometimes you can do this with mirror work. You also might want to practice when you're with someone, refrain from interrupting them, okay? This was definitely something like I had to learn. Number one, I had to learn to speak up. And then when I did, I couldn't shut up. I was like, dang, I thought I was introverted. Whoop, thought I was introverted. Nope. And I be that no more, you know? And so so you have to practice. I just practice actually listening with my heart, listening with my eyes, using my 5 senses to actually listen and understand what the person is wanting to say to me. And then I start picking up on a lot of stuff that people were not saying. I stopped interrupting, and when I balanced my throat chakra out, I understood that there was a lot of stuff that was being said that wasn't actually being said in words. Okay, so once I balanced it out, I was listening to understand and then before I could respond. Okay, so now we know what to do with that. Let's talk about, I want to get to weight gain. Y'all tell me which ones y'all want to talk about, okay? Because this list is long. So we have listen to them, and then y'all tell me what y'all want. Breathlessness or tightness in the chest, weight gain or inability to lose weight, weight loss or inability to maintain our weight, meaning it's like up and down, right? Or skin issues like acne, eczema, hives, okay? Lower back pain, hip tightness, jaw clenching, we talked about that, TMJ. And then knee pain, feet pain, pelvic pain, womb issues, right? Fatigue, low energy, cold hands, what y'all want to talk about? Hey, I transform lives. What y'all want to talk about? What y'all want to talk about? What y'all want to talk about? She says weight loss, can't maintain weight. Okay, great night to you. Good evening to you. All right, so let me do this verification real quick. Yep, there it is. Here it is, here it is, here it is. All right, so what do y'all want to talk about? Let's see. She says TMJ, thyroid. Okay, so I saw the weight thing first, and then we'll do TMJ, thyroid, and then TMJ. Okay. Say them again. Spoken like a goddess. All right, let me go through them again. But I saw the weight one first, so we're gonna honor her first, okay? She says maintaining weight. So we got 2 of those. So we're gonna talk about weight gain and weight loss because a lot of people have that issue, right? So I'm down for whatever. But you are my people. Spoken like a goddess. Right? Just as long as the room is moving, okay? So make sure that we're tapping out, you guys, and then make sure if you haven't already yet, you share this out. All right, let's go to the weight gain, and then we said thyroid, and then we said TMJ, all right? So let's get into it. Weight loss, okay? If you cannot maintain your weight, all right? This has a lot to do with fear of being seen or carrying the world's pain in your physical body, all right? And it's often linked to giving too much energy away. So it's kind of like, I'm trying to think of like a movie or an example. She says, I can't go over 120 pounds. Yeah. So some people say it's linked to people having genetics and metabolism, and research is starting to show that that's not always true, right? That like people can, like, even if someone is born in a family where people say the metabolism is low, you can reset your metabolism through consistent fasting, right? And I'm gonna do a whole live on fasting and how fasting regenerates the cells and all that stuff. Hi. That is so cute. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I transform lives, right? So this one, so weight, not being able to put weight on, okay? Hey, Jules, what's up? Has a lot to do with dissipating energy. We also call this like an energy leakage, right? That the person is, let me try to think of how this can show up. It can show up in like how much people pour out into like their job or into a relationship. Usually when there is adequate reciprocity, this usually doesn't happen, right? When someone feels like they're being seen, they're being heard, it's being reciprocated, right? It's like they're not leaking energy because there's a source pouring back into them where they've agreed on an exchange. That means like we've agreed to be in relationship together. You know, iron sharpens iron. You got my back, I got your back. When that's not happening, one person's being fed and the other one isn't, and it's like them being starved to a certain degree. Not that that's what's happening physically, but it's almost like an energy leakage, okay, is the best way I can put it. All right. And then sometimes the person feels lightheaded. They say they feel drained or they feel easily drained. They also feel drained after they help other people, or they struggle with boundaries, right? So they tend to attract those perpetual boundary steppers, right? They attract those boundary steppers, okay? Those people that are perpetually like, you put up a boundary and they just do whatever they want anyway, right? Like, for example, I actually was in a long-term relationship with someone, and I remember telling the person, you know, don't come to my house right now because I just kind of want to be to myself. And plus, it's my house. And the person said, I could do whatever I want. You gave me a key. And they proceed to come right on up in my house, and we went at it. We went at it. So these are perpetual boundary steppers, and when you try to exert a boundary, they show you 50 million ways how you're all out of line. They show like, hey, you all out of line. It's an immediate problem, right? And I will say, when I went and looked at like my photos, I look like that. Like the life was being sucked out of me. Now, someone might say, oh, but you were thinner. Sucking the life out of me. Y'all get it? Everybody. Even though I thought we were reciprocating. Well, that wasn't really true. Because when people overstep boundaries, no, that's not healthy. Nothing about that is healthy. It's all kinds of narcissistic. All kinds, right? And so we have to be aware of that, right? But I was the thinnest. I was like this, right? I was like this. Even after it was all done, I remember going to a rooftop party in Atlanta, a Christmas party, and somebody was like, God, girl, you're like, yo, ways you like this right here, right? Now I'm thicker than a cold pot of grits. Right? But it was because that person was draining me, right? Draining me, right? And so that's part of it. Now, on the flip, so the way that you fix that one is to ground yourself, right? Ground yourself. And root vegetables do this. This is a good time. Fall and winter is a good time. So all pumpkin, everything. Sweet potato pie, sweet potatoes, carrots. Get you some carrot juice. Get you a root vegetable juice you can drink. Cabbages, you know, get that kind of stuff going and reverse to try to bring the energy and the sustenance back. Yes, to the yam. To ground, these are grounding foods, right? Bone broth is another really good thing to put the nutrients back in, right? Get a juicer. If you can't get a juicer, you can get you can get cheesecloth and a blender. Blend your fruit up with a little bit of spring water until it's all juiced down, and then squeeze it through, right? But you got to either have a very good blender or you need a juicer, one or the other, okay? Okay, those are good. Beets are another really, really, really great one, right? Get you a beet juice. And if you don't like the way beet juice tastes, mix it with some other red things. And it will be chef's kiss, spot on, okay? Chef kiss, okay? Yes, yes, indeed. All right, and so you could do that. So, and then set up your boundaries so that you stop the energy leaking. And I guarantee you that combined with your root vegetables will start to slowly bring your weight on. Now, remember, I tell people, well, I might not have told you guys this, but I tell people when your pendulum has swung all the way one way for a long time, after you start to say, yes, I want more, yes, I want healing, it's got to swing all the way back the other way. So make sure you're keeping an eye on your weight if you don't want, if you're not, like they say, she's not a lady if she ain't 180, you know? It's up to you guys. Like, it's up to you and how you feel. If you ain't trying to get that high, make sure you're paying attention to it. But there's a natural swinging of this pendulum all the way back to the other side. And it's the same thing for weight loss. For those of you who are like, I've got stubborn weight that won't move, we're going to talk about that too. But that pendulum's going to swing all the way back. And you might be like, oh, I was trying to land at like 140, but dang, now I'm staring at one teens, and I don't want to be that. Just know that that pendulum has to swing all the way back before it kind of settles in the middle. This is a natural thing energetically that happens, right? This is a natural thing, okay? Okay? I'm glad you did that too and honored yourself, spoken like a goddess. Right? So for those of you that have the opposite problem, you have weight gain, right? Meaning that it's kind of coming on and you can't get it off. You're dieting, you're running, you're doing all the things, and your weight is like, girl, stop. Stop playing. Feed me, right? Your weight is like, I ain't going nowhere. We think it's thieves. We think it's thieves, literally. That weight is like, I ain't going nowhere. I'm here to stay, baby, right? And so let's talk about what that means, right? So a lot of times people gain extra weight because it's a protection thing. It's a self-defense mechanism a lot of times, against being too vulnerable. A lot of times you see this in people that have significant trauma. When they feel like they were not at a place to protect themselves from whatever caused the trauma, you will see them gain weight so that it keeps, it's almost like, y'all, it's almost like they gain weight as a repellent, right? To repel. This is also people that get bullied. Right? You'll see this when people get bullied later in life, they gain a lot of weight if they don't deal with the trauma or the mental health of it all. You'll see people with mental instability, right? You'll see them gain weight. And so everybody who's quote unquote big, y'all, they ain't that way because of their families. They not that way because of what runs in their family. They ain't that way because they can't put the fork down. A lot of times people gain weight because they feel like they're protecting themselves. Right? They feel like they're protecting themselves and they use it as a repellent. Think of people, how many of you have ever seen like My 600-Pound Life? That's an excellent example. If you've ever looked at the show, I think it was on A&E. I don't know what it's on now because I haven't seen it, but it's like, yes, Ash, that's right, Ash. It's like armor. That's the perfect. They treat it like armor. And they're like, it's on TLC. Okay. It's like, hey, I'm trying to repel people because if I can keep enough people away from me, then they can't hurt me. Nobody can hurt me. And the fact that they're the ones eating, they feel like they're the ones who can control the armor or how thick the armor is or the protection, right? Like I'm getting my weight up with my hate. That's what they're doing. I forget that line. I think it's from Tupac, right? Let me get my weight up with my hate and I'll pay them back when I'm bigger. People feel like I need this on me so that I can protect me because I got me if no one else got me. That literally is how they think, right? And it's just their thought process. And so when you see people who are overweight and they're trying, especially, thank you for the roses, especially y'all, hear me, so good when you see this. When you see someone in the gym and they are overweight and they are struggling on weights, they're struggling to walk, they've been in there for months and they can't even run on the treadmill, their knees hurt, they have all these things going on, I want you to look at them and I want you to see them differently. I want you to really try to see the light in that person, and I want you to see the fight in that person, to say, by any means necessary, I'm going to heal, and if my knee hurts, I'm still going to walk. Right? No matter what, I'm going to keep showing up and I'm going to keep pressing play. So when you see people like that, your heart should naturally go out to people like that, because they are fighting a freaking battle, you guys, that you cannot begin to see. And so when I see people make fun, as someone who's been a bodybuilder, when I see people making fun of people, I'm like, you have no idea. You have no idea what that person is fighting against every day, and you have the audacity to laugh at them. It's so evil. It's so evil. It's so evil, right? Or here's another one: obese children that are in the gym and they're fighting not to carry this into adulthood. You should pat them on the shoulder and say, girl, get it. Boy, you got it going on. You're going to be amazing when you grow up. They're fighting not to take it with them, right? We have to see people for their light, and we have to try to understand what their fight is, because trauma's in every room. It's trauma in every room, right? It's trauma in every room. And so we have to start treating people well, right? Being kind is free. Understanding someone is free, because every single one of us one day will need somebody to understand us too. We wish somebody understood us too. All right. So weight gain, protection, defensive mechanism. This is natural, right? They gain the most during the stress and instability. So even if there's no more bullying, even if they're out of the bad relationship, even if they've already removed the thing that caused the trauma, it could have been in childhood. Now they live in another state. They live on their own. They are good. They have a successful job. They finish school. That doesn't remove the trauma if they haven't dealt with it. True Jam, what's up? And so that doesn't mean that it's gone. It just means that they are functioning in the dysfunction. They're functioning in the dysfunction. And so weight gain, when you see it, I want you to think of this immediately. And then I want you to think about when they get triggered. Things that trigger them are like stress, uncomfortable situations. What do you think the gym is? The gym isn't comfortable for people. You know what I'm saying? Nobody goes to little sweats and then says, "Ooh, I felt so comfortable in there." Who's doing it? Said no one ever, right? And so they're in a space of discomfort. Thank you so much for your daily. They're in a space of discomfort, fighting so that they can have their comfort back. Does that make sense? And so we got to start seeing the light in people, and we got to start seeing what they're fighting and understand them, okay? And so that's the only way to their comfort is through their discomfort. Do y'all understand that? Let me know y'all understand. If someone is obese, they're large. The only way through to get to their comfort, they got to go through the discomfort. They got to, right? They got to. There's nowhere, there's no elevator. They got to take the stairs, baby. You know, and we all do. We all have something. All of us have our thing, you know. And so the thing that a person can do, if this is you or you know someone and this is what's happening and they're holding on to energy this way, right? Hey, PC, what's up? They can hug their body, right? Start to give the love back to themselves. They can hug their body a lot. They can do this in bed and rock back and forth. They can do this in the mirror, right? And then they can say, I release shame. And I replace it with love, with joy, with happiness, with bliss, just understood. Thank you, Mission. And They can practice eating grounding meals as well, as long as they're not carb loading and jacking up their blood sugar and all that kind of stuff. They're going to want to get a good staple shake. A person that is like that. I think everybody and their mama should have a good staple shake in their arsenal. Read the back of that label, make sure the sodium and the sugar is low, and it's got at least 20 plus grams of protein in it. Get a staple shake in your life. And then build upon that. Get a vanilla one, and then get some dark chocolate and put in there. Get a little bit of peanut butter and put in there. Heck, put some almond butter in there, you know. But don't get crazy and put them Biscoff cookies in there. Don't blend those up in there. Right? Get you some fresh fruit, cut it up, freeze it, and then catch the fruit on sale. Your bananas, your peaches, your mangoes. Get you a vanilla shake base. Cut that stuff up. You know, catch it on sale, cut it up, put it in them freezer bags, freeze your fruit. Make your own stuff, okay? Get you some steel cut oats or get you some rolled oats, the raw ones. Put a little bit of that in there, especially if you're constipated. Make something that you enjoy and that your body's gonna love. Delicious. Blueberries, all kinds, honey. Make your own, but have a staple shake that you can go to, right? Something that you can quickly put your hands on, right? Listen, the Biscoff got me in a chokehold. Cookies in there, melt a little bit of that Biscoff butter. Oh my God. Tastes like straight sugar. We're not doing that. 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 But it's a good idea though. It's a good idea. Okay. Now, we said we were gonna look at the thyroid. Let me see if I have thyroid on the list. If I don't have thyroid, then I definitely have TMJ. Right? Oh my goodness, I could eat too. But girl, them airport cookies. Well, who thought of them things? Let me just stop. Let me stay on the subject. Them airport cookies. I'm like, are they passing them cookies out yet? I don't care if it's a 20-minute flight. They better give me some cookies. I was like, excuse me, pardon me. I'm going to turn on my light. Your little light above your head. I ain't bring them cookies. When y'all serving cookies? Don't bring no peanuts or pretzels out here. Give me them cookies. Bring them cookies out here. Ma'am, it's only a 20-minute flight. That's not my problem. That's not my problem. Bring me them cookies. That's not my problem. Get that cart out here. And some of them will go in the back in the cart and give me some. I'm like, y'all so sweet. Y'all so sweet. You are so welcome, Ash. Have a great night. And okay. And so the next one we're going to look at, I want to cover hip tightness as well, but muscle cramps where? Blueberry, let me know. Muscle cramps where? Because it depends. And then let's look at hip tightness because that one is a real one. Hip tightness, womb issues, a little bit of womb issues because womb issues can go deep, right? She said legs mainly. Legs mainly. We can look at, I have knees and legs. Let's look at that in a minute. TMJ is about unspoken feelings or emotions. Self-censoring. People get TMJ. Self-censoring. We'll do hip tightness and fibroids. We'll definitely cover those two. Hip tightness and fibroids in just a minute. So someone asked about TMJ. I don't know if you guys are still in the room yet, but someone asked about that. Holding back your words. That's a little bit more related to throat chakra as well. So the same thing is going to apply. Thank you, Jules, for the dolphin love. I appreciate you. Thank you so much, Jules. Right? And then for TMJ or lockjaw, you have to notice the tension when you're confronting something or someone, or when it's time to have a difficult conversation. How does the person actually feel? Okay, so TMJ comes from things like that. I actually had a sibling that had really bad TMJ, and I think she would get it would get just stuck, ajar. For some reason, it would get stuck. And it would, you know, my mom would massage it with oil. And in most cases, she could calm her down and her jaw would close, right? But she's always had some challenges with speaking up for herself. Now she does it, you know, and she's excellent, exceptional at confrontation. And I gotta say, I don't ever remember her having those anymore, right? Now that I'm thinking about it. You know, she's incredible, right? She's a metaphysician like me. And she used to have those issues. And I just remember when we were kids, and one time it got stuck. I don't know if she's ever had to go to the hospital. I think she did. But as a kid, when it got stuck, she would just cry. And she's like, it's so painful. And she would just like cry with her mouth open, and it was just awful. I remember that. And then I remember my mom learning how to massage her and helping to get her to calm down, and it would get her little jaw to close. My mom was amazing. Would get her little jaw to, you know, close up or whatever. But she always had trouble, and we grew up very traumatically. And she was always quiet, you know. She would never speak her truth. Whereas me, I'm like, all right, you touch me again, I'm calling the cops. Like, I'm, you know, this ain't right. I know now that I'm at a big age. At 7 years old, I'm telling, you know. And so she was never like that, you know. And so she learned how to become like this and heal through her journey. And she's never had it anymore in adulthood. And I'm grateful for it. She's a little bit older than me. I'm grateful for her, you know. So she will speak her truth. But she'll say, don't think I'm the nice one. Because you, like we say, you kick the nest, you're going to get these bees. Kick the nest, get the bees. That's how this goes, right? And so that's what that is about, that clenched jaw, right? So consciously yawning helps. EFT helps a lot. Tapping helps a lot. Tapping at the brow, at the third eye, tapping above the brows, tapping on the side of the body helps a lot, right? EFT, emotional frequency technique, helps a lot for stuff like that. I now speak my truth. I'm open to being able to speak my truth. I now speak my truth, right? Tapping helps a lot. Under the eyes is another place people tap commonly. The temples, the jaw, right? Here, temples, I mean, right? So tapping helps a lot, right? Tapping helps a lot. And so, so that's another really prominent one. Let's talk about pelvic and womb issues, and then we'll get into knees and legs. All right. So please make sure we're tapping the screen. I really appreciate that. Right. Yep. Moving the tongue too. And also, I'm glad you said that, Charlene. And moving the tongue, you guys take a moment to drag your tongue across the back the roof of your mouth. You're going to hit a soft spot. Most people, if you can get it all the way back, you're going to hit a soft spot, right? When you put the tongue to the roof of the mouth, you close off an energy loop or an energetic loop that you can use during meditation, right? Or during your quiet time, okay? Some people just take the tongue and put it right into that the first dent, right? Right past the teeth, into that first dent. All right? That closes off this energetic loop, all right? That cycles through the third eye, crown, and then down through the mouth of God's chakra and then back through, right? So it cycles through the chakras and then back, right? So that's one of the things you can also do. All right, pelvic womb issues. Now we gonna scratch the surface of this. We're gonna scratch the surface of this because womb stuff can go deep, right? Ask me how I know, okay? Things can go deep because womb is a portal. We're not gonna get into all of that. If there are pelvic womb issues, tight hips. Let's talk about tight hips first. Tight hips are suppressed fears of moving forward or changes that are happening in relationships, right? Changes happening in relationships. The person usually feels stuck or indecisive, and they have tight hips hold emotions, okay? We're gonna get into this. Give me a second. Let me read the other one. For pelvic and womb issues, fibroids, infertility, things like that. We're going to talk about this. Creativity is blocked usually. Because remember, your pelvic area is a space where you feel grounded and connected to this planet. Okay? Your root chakra is there, and your sacral chakra is there. You got two, right? Yep, this is fibroids as well. Kay, what's up? This is talking about fibroids as well. So your root chakra is right at your perineum. It's that saddle, right? I always tell people you got underneath there, you got a saddle of muscles. They run this way, and then they run backwards and forwards like this, so almost like a cross, and then they run crossways, so like an X. So you got all these network of muscles running in all these different directions to hold everything up, right? Think of your root chakra being that strong too. Your root chakra starts to develop when you are around 2 years old, okay? Your root chakra starts to develop, and if you were a legacy student, you know this. We talk about the first 7 years of life that dictate long-term health, okay? Family health, epigenetics, making things like dormant in your DNA. You can learn to do that from the age of 1 to 7. When you are 2 years old specifically, your root chakra starts to develop. That means I am me, mommy is mommy, daddy is daddy. I'm not connected to their bodies anymore. I am my own person. What is the main thing 2-year-olds always say? Let me know in the comments. What is the main word 2-year-olds always say when you try to tell them to do something? What do they say? When you try to tell them to do something, what in the world does a 2-year-old tell you? No, 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 no. This is their root chakra developing. And they're realizing you are not me. I am not you. And let's be clear, I do not have to do what you say. This is my body. I can take it and I can run it fast. I can do whatever I want to do with this body, even if it means defying you. The root chakra is developing at that time. So the kid needs to feel safe. So even though they're defiant and they're saying no, they also want you to tuck them in. They also want you to read to them. They also want to kiss you goodnight. They want to do all these sweet things. They want to draw you pictures. They want to do all these amazing, cute, sweet things at 2 and 3 and all those things because their root chakra is developing. They're saying, I'm still me, but I still need you to keep me safe. That chakra is developing at that time. When that child, a lot of times, doesn't get to do that, or they are constantly told, don't touch this, sit down, don't say that, be seen and not heard, do as I say and not as I do. When they get all these things imprinted on them, it slowly lowers their ability to feel safe. And people don't know this, but you spend the second half of your life dumping off all the stuff that was imprinted on you in the first half of your life. You spend the second half of your life dumping off all the stuff that was imprinted on you in the first half, right? And you decide where those halves start, okay? And we decide where those halves start. For some people, that's 25. They start dumping it off, right? For some people, they don't get there till they in their 50s, dumping off all the stuff that was never theirs anyway. Do you understand? And so when we're looking at this, right, tight hips, tight pelvis is, I'm really wanting to feel safe, but in reality, in a lot of ways, I don't, okay? In a lot of ways, I don't, okay? And hey, Anissa, I hope I said your name right. Alnisa. Somebody can't control their dogs outside. Sound like they eating the neighbor. I don't. It has nothing to do with me. So when we see these pelvic womb issues, what's up, Coco? Thank you for the follow. When we see these pelvic and womb issues, we have to remember that our womb is also a space where we create, and not just babies. It's your space of creativity, right? She said they don't feel safe, girl. Listen, I don't. They're loud. I know they loud. That I do know. They don't. She said, "There's a sound outside." Yeah, it's outside. It's some dogs in the hallway. I live in a condo, so it's some dogs outside, child. Lord have mercy. We just got some new people to move in, right? It was outside. And so when we got these womb issues, it's a block creativity thing. A lot of times trauma is held there. So I am a trauma-informed yoga therapist, and then I'm a comedic yoga teacher. So I'm certified in both, and then I'm a level 3 Reiki master In addition to metaphysical sciences, I have a Master of Science in Metaphysics. I'm working on my PhD. And then I have a 20+ year critical care background in medicine, including anesthesiology. That was my last career. I had a career in clinical research, and then I had a career in respiratory therapy, all critical care. So I know the medical side of this, and I know the spiritual side of this. So when we're looking at this, right, and we're looking at where sciatic pain is a part of it too, right, because it's right in that hip area. Right? I had really bad sciatica before I did womb healing. It was so bad. And I was like, why am I hurting like this? I'm a fit person. I shouldn't have this kind of pain. Right? Oh, you're a respiratory therapist, Kate. Hey! I was in respiratory therapy for a long time. I did pediatric ICU at Children's Healthcare of Atlanta. I was there for a very long time, right? Yeah, I'm actually in Mexico. Somebody asked me where I was. I expated to Mexico almost 2 years ago. Thanks. Up over there. Ooh, Lord. Right. Came here on a break and didn't leave. And so when we're looking at this, pelvic womb, you get discomfort during creative projects. You can't focus on creative projects. You're not able to finish things. And you have a real challenge in intimacy, right? There's a real issue when it's time to be intimate, right? I want to be you when I grow up, right? I want to be more of me when I grow up. And so all of these things have to do with the womb issues that women are faced with usually, right? Men can have the same things because they have a root chakra, they have a sacral chakra as well, right? And so we have to be aware of these things, you know? And so they have to do things like womb breathing. If you don't know what womb breathing is, there are YouTube videos on that. That's worth finding one, getting it in your arsenal. There was one that I used to listen to every day when I was in the sauna. I actually might go back to that. I cannot remember her name, but she has a massive following on YouTube for womb healing. She has sacred music and chanting. It's amazing. The affirmations, it's amazing. If I think of it, you guys, I'm gonna post it. I'm gonna tell you, if I find it, I'm gonna post it in my stories on TikTok, in my thing. I'm gonna post it as a post in my stories for you guys, okay? Because it's not Queen Afua. No. I almost partnered with her on some stuff back in the day, but I decided not to. But this is someone else. I will post it, okay? I will post hers. It's amazing. So someone shared it with me, and then I'm going to share it with you guys. I got to find it first. I think I saved it, but I got to find it. And then, so womb breathing, obviously sensual movement, right? Hip movements, rotating your hips. I used to do, hey, Divine Inspirations, what's up? I used to do a yoga class or host a yoga class that was all about chakra balance. And every single time we got to the root and the sacral chakra, the hips, where they had to raise their hips up off the floor, a lot of people in the room would just cry. They would cry because we had already worked through some of the other stuff, so that by the time they got to that chakra, they were ready to release, and they would just boo-hoo cry, right? And then I've also had students in class with me that are like, I don't want to do the pelvis stuff. I don't want, and it literally is just laying on the ground with your knees, with your legs bent, and then you just lifting your hips up off the floor, almost like you're doing a hip thrust, and making like a little space under your back. They don't even want to do that. They're that blocked, right? They're like, I don't want to do nothing laying down. I don't want to do nothing with my hips. That's a sign that there's massive energetic blocks there, and they have to do some work around sacral womb healing, that there's trauma there as well. All right. So, hey, Gift, thank you for joining us. And so that's one of the things, okay? So they have to do those things. The hip movements, it's so important to do those. And then, of course, for those people who have hip tightness, you're going to want to do hip openers, like your partial splits, right? You're going to want to find something that helps you progress into splits to really open up your hips. Like I can do half splits straight out of bed. If I really focus in for the day, I can do a split. right? And I've always been like that because I've always practiced it. And also I taught yoga, right? So that's part of it as well. But you want to keep your hips flexible, right? You can also do what we like to call deep prayer squats. So squat to where your knees are here. Your knees come up to your shoulders and you can sit in like a prayer position in a deep squat. Should be able to do that, right? And of course, The Body Keeps Score. That's an incredible book, right? And so, and Becoming Supernatural is also another one as well. That's really good. And I think it's called The Letting Go Technique, The Art of Letting Go. Anyway, I'm going to put a top 50 books list and I'm going to have it as a free download for you guys because I think that would be amazing. Let me know. Hey, I am her. Let me know if that would help you guys. I'm going to do it anyway. Do a top 50 books and you can like get that as a free download and start putting books in your arsenal, right? Yes, that's a beautiful asana. Yes. Okay. So hip openers help so much. I will do that for you guys. I will do that. So hip openers it'll be at the link in my bio. It'll be on that link tree. Everything goes on that link tree. Okay. So it'll be at the link in my my top 50 books. It'll be on that link tree. I'll put it there tomorrow. Don't go there tonight because it ain't there. I'm just being honest. It ain't up there. It ain't up there. I just thought it was a good idea and I'm going to do that. I'm going to do it tomorrow. Okay. But so that's that. And we also looked at TMJ. Knee pain has to do with pride, ego, and resistance of humility and flexibility. Resistance, being inflexible in life, not adapting to change well, tends to make the joints stiff. Knees, hips, elbows, shoulders, it tends to start to make the body stiff when we're not flexible in terms of what we do in life, okay? Not being able to like navigate the peaks and valleys of life, okay? And then one of the ways around that is practicing gratitude, humility, right? That's how we get around knees or weak legs, things like that. That's a way that we actually do that. Okay, starting to be more flexible. Yoga would help with that tremendously as well. Meditation, stretching normally. She says skin inflammation. Well, let's see. I thought I saw it. So we have skin issues. So acne, rosacea, eczema. So we can talk about those. Y'all want to talk about those? So those have to do with boundaries, and being super sensitive. Boundaries and being super sensitive. I feel like because my son had eczema bad. Jeremiah, Quan. Yeah. Do you still get eczema? No. So he said no, right? Would you say you're super sensitive? I don't know why my son don't be wanting to get on live with me.
No.
Would you say you have boundaries?
What you mean?
Like you don't let people walk all over you?
Oh no, not anymore.
Not.
I take that issue very seriously now.
Okay, so he said he take boundaries very seriously now. He used to have really bad eczema, and I mean it would be on his eyelids. He's 18 now, by the way. Jeremiah, you want to come say hello? Yeah. Can't you just come wave? I be trying to get my son to go live with me, y'all. He don't never want to do it. I don't know why. He's a teenager living in Mexico, learning a third language, by the way. Just wait. Just get in the camera and wait.
Because I don't remember nothing from French.
He knows a little bit of French. That's my kid, y'all.
All right.
That's my kiddo. They laugh at it. But he was homeschooled, and then I think, and we need to do a live about this, because then he wanted to go back into high school, and here come all these people trying to bully him. They said, hey, all. And so he had eczema bad in the elbow creases, on the eyelids. It was so bad. And on the backs of his, the back of the knees, wherever the bends were, it was so bad. I remember I took him to his pediatrician. The pediatrician said he's going to have to go on steroids for the rest of his life. Did you ever take a steroid?
No.
Never. I was like, it's not happening. I'm not putting my baby on nata. I barely let y'all vaccinate. Pick one vaccination. You is not finna stick this baby 5 times. Pick one. And we gonna see you in a couple of years. Miss me with that foolishness. You're not doing that, right? But he got better with boundaries. He got better with, what's this other thing it says? So it says boundaries and being sensitive to things, like easily being hurt. If your feelings are easily hurt, right? You don't want people looking at you. You always scared that people are talking about you. Or even if you know they're talking about you, it always hurts your feelings. Like at some point you got to be like, they are who they are. I am who I am. I'm not going to care about that. I can't take on the burden of everybody and what they think of me. That's impossible for anybody to take on, right? That's impossible, right? And so if you're having skin issues, know what the root cause is, right? We're talking eczema, rosacea, hives, acne. All of those things come from being super sensitive, boundaries, right? It comes from those kinds of things, or feeling rejected, right? Feeling rejected. When those things, I don't even remember when his eczema stopped. It just kind of stopped, I think.
It stopped like when I was super young, before high school.
He said it stopped before high school.
I think what made it stop was we cut out 2% milk and then switched.
Yeah, we cut out animal milk, and then what else?
We switched to what you call it, almond milk.
We switched to plant milk, and then we cut out cheese.
No, because I was still eating cheese after that. I just think that puberty made it worse.
Oh, he was like, puberty made it worse. But he also erected boundaries, and he stopped letting people walk all over him. That was the biggest thing, right? Not feeling like you need to fit in with everybody, but being able to choose who you want to be around. And that's big, I think, for children, right? And so flare-ups, look for flare-ups after emotional things. So if something happens to you emotionally, is there a flare-up afterwards? Y'all can see him walking in the background. If there's a flare-up afterwards, right? They usually coincide, right? If there's some kind of emotional stuff going on, then here comes the flare-up, right? And then of course, for those people who are suffering with that, salt baths go a long way for skin issues, right? But remember, I always tell you guys, if you do a salt bath, you need to shower afterwards, because all of those things are still active on your skin, right? All the calcium, magnesium, whatever's in your salt bath gets absorbed in the skin, and that's fine because we need those things in our body. But after you are done, you need to deactivate those things. You deactivate those, don't go to bed with salt on you. Get in the shower, rinse off, rinse well, and then dry off and oil and hydrate your body or whatever. Do those things. But make sure you shower after you do a salt bath. But do a salt bath. You can add the oils. I saw somebody put in here rose oil, sweet almond oil, tea tree oil goes a long way. All right. This one you can also put with allergies, right? You can also put this with allergies as well. The sensitivities, like how some people have sensitivities to food and all kinds of things like that. This you can put with it as well, right? He also has sinus issues too. And I mean to the point where like he had eczema, and then he had it. I still have photos. He had it where like he had a play date with someone, and when me and the moms went out, it was a babysitter, and then when we came back, his eyes were like swollen shut, and they looked like they were two black eyes, and I was like, oh, you know me. I'm like, this, somebody finna get, somebody finna get. Where they go? Where they get away? Where they think they got away to, right? And so he had some kind of sensitivity to something, and then the next day, so obviously I got him some Benadryl because I'm here, right? It needs to respond to Benadryl, or we're going to emergency services, right? So, and I worked at a children's hospital, and so. No, but at this time I was in Texas, so I was in anesthesia. I was in anesthesiology. So by that time I could have just gone to my job and be like, "Hey, you come see my kid," because we were all kind of close. And so took him home, gave him some Benadryl, and watched him. Made sure he didn't have a fever. We were good. I could fix him at home. And his eyes went down enough when I was able to see inside the white, the sclera had swollen over the iris. Do you hear me? The sclera had swollen over the iris. And when both of the eyes, so I just kept giving him Benadryl, kept him home. That means no school, right? Kept him home. And then when they finally went down, he just had 2 black eyes. So all of this was all dark, right? I still have the photos from that because I was like, that is crazy. And he was like, look at my face. I think he was probably like 4 years old. He was like, look at my face. I can't go to school like this. It's like, child, please. So it finally went down, right? And I just took him out, you take him out of the house, get some ice cream, go play on something, take him to the park, just, so they're not constantly in the mirror, because that's what kids do, right? But yeah, so he had a sensitivity to something, right? So he was super sensitive, and we had just moved, right? We moved from Georgia to Houston, Texas. And so it was a lot. It was a lot for him. So some people are sensitive in that way. And I remember his eczema was really bad then too. So some people are super sensitive to things like that. That's what I mean when I say sensitivities. They also have food intolerances. So it may not all be physical skin stuff. It happened to be that way for him, but it can also be food intolerances, gut intolerances as well, right? And we talked about the gut earlier, but it's the same thing. And so what you're going to want to do for the skin issues is the salt bath. You also want to do energy clearings regularly. Like first of the month in your home should be royal reset. I mean, salt in the corners of the room, Palo Santo, burn some copal. And I mean, when you're getting your tools, remember I told you guys on another live, just like you got salt, pepper, onion powder, and paprika in your cabinet, you need metaphysical tools in your house. You need earth, air, fire, water, something around you. You need these tools so that when it's time to go, you got these tools ready to go. You're not trying to get on Amazon and get them sent to you. No. You already got it there. You got it ready to go. And it should be tools that physically leave your space feeling differently. It shouldn't just feel like you saged. Your space should feel different. Okay. I'm so glad you've been working on monk mode. Let's go. Monk mode. Let's go. What book are you listening to in monk mode, Mystical? I'm finna test you. Mystical Misty, are you listening to a book in monk mode? Are you doing a book? I'm listening to Fast Like a Girl by Dr. Mindy Pels, and it's amazing. You know the tea on fasting for women over 40. Ooh, if you don't, get that book. Don't worry, it'll be on my top 50 books list. Fast Like a Girl. You need that in your life. Need that in your life. Everybody need that, right? Okay? So now, you also want to do energy clearings, mirror work, right? Mirror affirmations. And then of course, just keep up with your skincare. Be easy on the skincare. Sometimes people think because they have skin issues, they have to, hey mom, thank you for liking the live. They have to do a lot of things, and you really don't. You really want to still be easy on your skin, right? Yep, you really want to be easy on your skin still. All right, because your skin on your face is different from, say, the skin on the back of your arm. This one is going to be much more sensitive, okay? So if you have acne in the elbows and then acne like on the eyelids like he did, these are treated differently. I'm not going to do here what I did here. And then neem oil is another one. NEEM is another really great one for eczema and things like that, okay? Okay. All right. Is that the restrictions and preferences? Okay. All right. So, yes, neem oil is amazing. Now, I don't like the way neem smell. You're going to have to cut that neem with something that got a different smell to it. Hit it with maybe some tea tree oil, a couple drops of tea tree, something bright, something. That neem is, trust me, let's just say, if you wearing neem oil, people know it. It don't smell good. It don't smell good. Don't let nobody lie to you. It don't smell good. Not the real one. It does not smell good. It does not smell good. It smells like cheese or something. It does not smell good. So you're going to want to cut it with something, okay? You're going to want to cut it with something. All right? All right? You're going to want to cut the neem oil with something, okay? And so now, so we've talked about those. We talked about hips and knees, and we talked about the womb just a little bit, because I don't want to go too deep on the womb, just a little bit. And for those of you who are fatigued, low energy, you go into a room looking for something and you forget why you went in there, right? So you're having like these neurological, you're forgetting things, little things, not big deficits, but you're forgetting little things. You have things like writer's block, or you're not able to get tasks completed properly. Now we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I missed all of this, Jula. I would love to hear it earlier. Yeah, hey, Kelly, I'm going to put the replay on YouTube. I'm going to try to grab the replay and put it on YouTube, okay? And for those of you who want the replays, I've been having issues logging into my TikTok on my computer, and I got to figure that out. Once I figure that out, it's replay city, baby. Be looking for the replays. Don't worry, they'll be at the link in my bio on that link tree. They'll be up there, but they ain't up there now. Up there right now. So don't be going up there looking for them replays. I gotta figure out how to get them onto my YouTube channel. So I'm working on that, because we agreed as a community that's where the replays were going to be. Hey, Kathy, what's up? Good evening to you. We agreed the replays were going to be on my YouTube channel. That YouTube channel is the same name as this. Now, if you go to that YouTube channel right now, ain't nothing over there. I just made it so that I could put our replays over there, and we got some place to go watch our. We got one place where our replays and our downloads are going to be. The link to the download will be in the description of the YouTube video, and the YouTube video is going to be the replay. I finally got that right. Thank you so much, Kai. I appreciate you. Said thank. It's so helpful. Thank you. You're welcome. We'll put it all in one place so people can get what they need. All right. So low energy, fatigue, people forgetting stuff. What's up, free will? People forgetting stuff. People, having writer's block or wanting to do something and then they stop and they don't get it done. No or little follow through. That's me, y'all, because y'all know but I'm gonna get it done, I swear. So we're gonna talk about what that means, right? So what that means is overgiving, right? And sometimes we're misaligned with what we really want to do. Right. So sometimes we think that we're like overthink. It makes us overthink when in reality we might actually be misaligned. Right. So, for example, I've been wanting to put the replays somewhere where people can get to them. And I'm constantly in my head about where they're going to go, where they're going to go, where am I going to put them? The videos are too long. What am I going to do? How am I going to do this? Where am I going to put them? And then somebody on one of my lives was like, can you just put them on YouTube? And I was like, I got an Ask Dr. Cudger YouTube that I've never used. I've never used it. I just kind of put it as a placeholder. And so I was like, okay, now we can do that, right? And so I was thinking about all these other places and trying to make it more nuanced than it needed to be. All of that was misaligned. Do y'all understand that? All of that was a misalignment. Right? So when we have to keep going back and forth in our heads about things, or we keep forgetting, or the follow through is super low, the heart is willing, but the hands are weak. Be honest, we don't actually want to do it. Kathy just became a super fan. Appreciate you. Right? Okay, so there's a misalignment with what we actually want to do. And so once someone said, let's put it on YouTube, I was like, got it. That's where we're going to put it. And I was immediately aligned with that. And congratulations on your level 17. Congratulations to you. And so if this is you, then those type of people also wake up tired no matter how much rest they get, especially with emotional interactions. They feel emotionally tired, right? They feel tired almost at a soul level when you think about this. And so there's a misalignment with what they should be doing, with what they want to do. Always remember, Tips Fair Fancy, what's up, babe? Good evening to you. Always remember that when we agree with God on the things that we desire for our life, when we agree to also with our higher selves, there is an ease and grace about moving forward. It is easily entreated. There is an ease and grace when we think about what we need to do and going forward. Carissa, good evening to you. Thank you for your heart, me. There's an ease and grace about it when we agree, okay? And there's little to no resistance to these kinds of things, okay? So keep that in mind as well. What's up, Hustle? Thank you for joining the live. And so if this is something that is happening to you, you got low energy and fatigue, energy leakages, those kinds of things, you're going to want to do some energy protection and some visualization. Remember I told you guys about zipping up your aura, right? Remember I told you got a rainbow around your entire body that extends up to 6 feet on every side of you, right? Imagine zipping that thing up like a coat, zoop, from bottom to top, right? Remember, how many of you guys remember A Christmas Story when the lady put that little boy in that snowsuit? She put the little knitted hat on him and put the scarf on him, and she put him in that little suit with his little arms, and she zipped it up, right? Think about zipping your aura up just like that, nice and tight, so nobody can get to it. Nice and tight. Think about zipping your aura up just like that. Yep. There you go. Think about zipping yours up and protecting yourself in that way. Nobody can get to it, okay? So energy protection things. I told you guys I was going to create or give you a Reiki talisman prayer for those of you guys who might say you have a necklace that you like to wear, you like a watch, you got a watch you like to wear, or you have earrings that you like to wear, or you have bracelets or something that you like to wear. There are ways for you to infuse these things, and they create a barrier of protection around you every time you wear them. And it's up to you. You can say no one can come to me within 10 feet, within 20 feet, within 50 feet. These are called talismans, okay? These are called talismans, okay? People pray over these things, but you can also create a talisman on your own. I'm going to put that talisman prayer in a book of prayers that I am writing, okay? A book of petitions, and they're going to be in sections, and that talisman prayer is going to be in that book, okay? It's going to be, I think it's called Metaphysical Prayers That Avail. I think that's what it's going to be called, okay? I want to get that book out by January. I want that to be the first thing that I launch out in the new year. But it's going to be a book of prayers and petitions for those of you who are like, there's a lot I want to say, but I'm losing my words. It's going to be in that book, okay? It's going to be in that book, all right? I'm going to do it, Mystical. I got it, right? So I'm going to get that book out for you guys so that you have it. And that talisman prayer is going to be in there. And so you choose how you want to conduct that prayer. But when you put it on, obviously my talismans are tattooed now. But when you put them on, certain people are like, yeah, I saw her, but for some reason I didn't go up to her. No, I know why you didn't go up to me. Oh, she was busy talking to somebody else. I know why. I know why you didn't come up to me. All right, True Jim, thank you for being here. We appreciate the love, right? So you can wear a talisman or have something on you where certain kinds of energy and people and things, they can't approach. You know, they might want to, but they're going to do so they're going to mess with you from a distance, right? And so it's a thing of protection, all right? So yeah, so that's it for tonight, you guys. We've gone over a lot, okay? As always, the notes to this live, there's a bunch of these that we did not cover. I think we covered maybe 6 or 7. There is probably about 15 on this list, so we didn't cover all of them, obviously, but I will put them all in your guide, and they will be available for download for you guys that are like, I really want the notes on that. I really want the affirmations for the knees or the affirmations for my gut. All of those things will be in that download, and that will be in there tomorrow, okay? Listen, she says, you gave a lot, girl. You're so welcome. Thank you so much, Spoken Like Goddess. For those of you who are still here, I really appreciate it, right? I never take the ability to teach people lightly. Never take it lightly. It is always a joy to share time and space with all of you. Please, please, please sleep well, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hey, Medical Wig. I'll see you guys tomorrow night. Love and light. Bye.